Hi guys, let me just set myself up. I just felt really inspired, so I wanted to come on here and be really nervous, but to talk about birthing. And if you're a mama, because I'm talking about Muse mamas and creativity and that sense of connection with your creativity, with your calling. And if you don't know me, I'm Brenda. I am the artist here. I'm your creativity catalyst. I'm also the Muse Mama matriarch membership that I'm launching and offering next month. So all the things that I'm talking about on this page, if you don't know me, I paint. I'm a painter. I create art that serves as an anchor for your self-expression in your home and in your life. And I talk about more than just here's how I make my painting, here's some colorful art, but about creativity and how you can connect with it and how you can use your creativity to be more than just whatever season in your life that you're at, which for a lot of my followers is about being a mama, and you're planning your next chapter, and we're craving this space for connection and to have these deeper conversations about connecting with your creativity, working with your muse, living a full inspired life, and then bringing all of that and weaving all of that with our families and with our roles as wives and sisters and daughters and mothers and all of those things. And that's how you weave that rich tapestry of a beautiful life that you want, which is your purpose in life, whatever that is. And so today I just wanted a quick come on, because anytime you get an inspired idea, I think I did a video, was it yesterday or the day before, about how you need to trust and have a bit of faith when you get an inspired idea to do something about it now. And I just got that, and so I'm trying to practice what I preach. And so midwives, if you've ever birthed babies or been involved in any way, it is the whole pregnancy, and when you have the next chapter that's coming at you, and especially for first-time mums. I've mentored a couple of first-time mamas, just like walking them through, because when you're going through this new journey and you're going through this new experience, and you know that on the other side is going to be a whole new world that you have no idea what it's like, and you kind of see it from the outside and you see other people experiencing it, but you don't truly know what it's going to be like for yourself. Hi Emma, talking about midwives and birthing your next chapter. And so when you don't know and you're seeing that you're on your way to this new role and new identity, and using the analogy or the story of birthing and being a mum for the first time. And so when you see it there, but you don't really know what it's going to be like, and you kind of have an idea. And as I think all mums know, your original idea of what it's going to be like is kind of stupid and naive and nothing at all like what it is actually like when you get there. And what really helps is to be able to talk to someone who has been there, and who has been there freshly, if that makes sense. Like, I found when I was a first-time mum that the people I talked to, there was a difference in advice and in resources and in perspective, talking to someone who was a first-time mum 20 years ago versus someone who was a first-time mum 2 months ago. And I think they're both valid. And but the reason I'm here, because I'm waiting for my Uber guy to come and bring my food, because I'm having lunch finally, so I don't have time. But it was just this idea of like a midwife, I just had a baby. If you don't know, right? I'm not just the artist and sitting at home painting beautiful things. I'm weaving all of this with my 4-year-old, and I got an 8-month-old. So 8 months ago, I went through that second birthing experience again. And really, this time around, it was more daunting because I wasn't going to go back to the same hospital that I went to before. This is all logistic, boring details that I promise make sense, will connect. And so I was really scared again, because first time around I was scared because I had no idea what was going on. And this time around I'm like, I shouldn't be, because I know what's going on. My body's done it before and it should be all right. But then different hospital. And then there was this whole debacle on the day when hubby and I realized, okay, this is it. It's happening. It's going to be tonight. Say hi if you're on. As always with my live videos, I would love it if you at least comment #yay live or #yay replay, so I know that you're on and that you comment, and and remind me to share this video as well before I forget, because it just doesn't work when you don't do it live. So what happened was, on the night I'm getting all the contractions and I'm about to birth myself, and I knew first time round it was a really big shock to become a mum for the first time. It really changed my identity. If you're a first time mum and you're watching this, or you know someone who's going to be and they want to be able to talk to someone through it, I've been really great, if I do say so myself, a great mentor to just talk people through like that change of identity and that first time mum thing. Because I mean, sure, there's like websites and blogs about what to buy and what checklists to tick off about what to bring to hospitals and stuff, but nobody really talks about the identity shift and the whole how do you bring yourself back to yourself and how you lose yourself to it and all those things. And so I remember from the first time round that, I'm just looking down so I can share this video, the first time round I really lost myself and I really lost in touch with my creativity. And there was a year in 2014, the year after I had my first child, where I didn't even paint. I really didn't create. I was just so lost in the whole motherhood thing and who the hell was I and what does that meant. And even though I knew I was going to lose who I was before, I didn't realize to what extent. Anyway, and so the second time round, I was still keeping that in my head about how I know better. So I had prepared myself for it, but because it was going to be a whole different hospital, different doctors, and it was a public system versus a private system I was in. And so my point of the story, so the night, it was nighttime, I remember, and I was having contractions all day. And I knew, because last time when I went for a really long walk, that was pretty much that night, I gave birth. And both my girls like to just come quickly. There's like no warnings. And so this time was no different. I knew that day, I was like, oh, I think it's coming tonight. And so I tried to go to sleep early, but because my husband was like, oh, good thing, because it was the weekend. So then we didn't have to like worry about logistics and things. This is the difference between first time mums and the second time around. And so we're like, okay, let's try and get them sleep. This is like 8 o'clock. Let's go sleep early because we might have to. So I'll see you later, Emma. Thanks for being here as always. And let me share. And so we're feeling it. I knew it was coming. And we reached a point where you're like, okay, I think need to call the hospital to let them know. So call the hospital, ring, ring. And they're like, okay, sounds like she's getting there, because we knew, how many minutes, all those kind of things. And it sounds like it's about time. And they go, oh, and we've told this other hospital because you're not coming to ours because we're booked out. And I remember thinking, oh my God, what are you talking about? I can't fathom another change and another thing. They have no idea what's happening. And this other hospital, we don't know where it is. We've never been there. I don't know how to drive there. We don't know where the parking is. And so it was just like, no. My poor husband would be like trying to calm a poor pregnant wife who was like freaking out. And and I just remember thinking, you have got to be fucking kidding me. Call them back and tell them I am not going to another hospital. I am going to come. I want to go to this hospital. It was like, all the things. And so he had to call them and try and... Long story short, we couldn't call them. And my husband, in his great wisdom, was like, no, let's just go to this hospital now because your contractions are like 2 minutes apart. And he wisely knew he didn't want to be the one birthing in the car. We get there, and when we get there, and I was still just so focused on trying to get my body into the flow. And we get there, and then I meet the midwife, and he was, a lovely guy. And I don't know, first thought was, oh my gosh, it's a guy. Like, it's already bad enough. I'm in a weird hospital and I don't know what's happening. And, just like when you're about to enter or you're going through that transition, or there's the next chapter, or you're about to birth something amazing, hi, say hi if you're on, and I'm talking about why we need midwives in terms of creating your next chapter and my experience. So I see the guy and I'm just like freaking out because I already like don't know what's happening, and I'm already stressed and birthing, and it was a guy, and I was just like, oh, this cannot be happening. But can I just say, he was the best midwife for me. He was calm. He knew what he was doing. He talked me through each contraction, even though in my head I was like, oh, I know what the next step is. I totally know. You don't have to tell me. And I hate being told what to do. But just being able to talk me through it, and he knew the timing and the pacing, meant that I could just relax, focus on what I need to do next, and then just kept going, breathing through it. And then like within an hour of arriving, we were holding about 2 hours maybe of arriving, which is why it was a good thing that my hubby actually called and just insisted that we go. We were holding my baby girl in my arms. And I remember just being in such a high of, I can't believe that it went so quickly. And again, what I wanted was to have a no intervention birth, meaning no drugs and stuff, even though I'm totally open to it, no judgment on anyone. I get freaked out about needles in my spine and epidurals and things. And so, and I remember just being on a high and just remember thinking, even during the contractions and just like reaching that point where you're like, no, I can't do this. Let's just go home. And my midwife was just amazing about talking me through it and just knowing when to give me encouragement, to be like, no, you can do it. And at the same time going, no, Brenda, stop. You need to do it like this. And just that years of experience, even though I thought he could not possibly understand because he's a dude, but his experience and knowing just how to talk you through it, I realized like I would love a midwife for all the different transitions in my life. When I'm about to birth my business and doing this as being and stepping forward as an artist that I want it to be, not just working in a dream job, but working in my dream job to be an artist and painter and all that kind of stuff. Imagine if I had a midwife that could just walk me through that transition and talk me through and gave me the encouragement I needed when I needed to, but also a kick in the butt when I needed to as well, and knowing when to do that. Like imagine having a midwife to talk you through whatever new chapter that you're about to go through next, or because you finish your mothering and your babies are no longer small and you want to move on to finding something for yourself, which is why I created the Muse Mama thing, which is why I'm here talking about this and why I'm thinking about all these things. Is like, imagine if you had a midwife that could walk you through it and help you birth through it, and they don't have to give you all the answers. Like he might not have any idea exactly truly what I was feeling and what I was going through, but he's seen enough and he knew what I needed to take the next step. Like I didn't need a sympathetic hand to hold my hand through it. I needed someone to help me like push through it all and birth my baby so I can move to this next chapter where I was going to be from mum of one to mum of two. And so why am I talking about this? I'm not sure. I was inspired to share this story and to talk about midwives, not just midwives in general, but just that idea. I was looking at the concepts and it was like someone who helps you produce something or create something or to do the next thing. And I go, that's exactly what I would want. And that's exactly the kind of energy I want to create in my Muse Mama membership and in my work, like even in my paintings. Not serve as a midwife that gives you, to tell you what to do next, but like to serve as an anchor. Because his voice in the end, in that birthing room, was my anchor to go, okay, what do I need to do next? What do I need to do next when I couldn't function? And then when I could and I knew, okay, I need to do this next, I need to do this next, he was just there to reassure me that I was doing great and I was doing fine and I can do it, and to remember why I was there in the first place. Just like when you're stuck in a project and you're stuck in the overwhelm and you think, oh my God, what's happening? And then you just need someone to be like, remember why you're here, what it is that you're trying to do. And then they could just like walk you through it, you know, metaphorically, just by their voice, just by their presence, just by their like energy of sharing that with you is it's priceless, right? And so that is why I made that Muse Mama membership. I wanted to gather women. I wanted to talk about these things, about like changing identities and how to reconnect back to yourself and your creativity and finding the thing that is your thing. And how do we have that conversation without having to like go to a networking event or like, and like I would love to do retreats in the future and things, obviously once babies are no longer babies, but also because I know I'm online a lot and on Facebook. That's why it's like a simple Facebook group for now, so that it's not overwhelming. But at the same time, you get to gather together and connect with people who have these ideas about being more than just at home cooking, crafting, and cleaning the house. Or that, you know, your kids are already at school, what do you do with yourself? You know, when people say, oh, I have all this time, I don't know what to do with myself, and it's funny and we laugh, and I totally get that. But at the same time, I'm thinking to myself, I have a bunch of stuff that I want to do. I have a bunch of projects that I want to birth. That I have a bunch of ideas that I need to nut out. I have got plenty to do in those moments. And so if you need a midwife to kind of help you, walk you through whatever that next creative project is, if you want a space where you can connect with other Muse mamas about creativity and connection, and to really do, because you will be, when you enter the membership, you will start with the foundation masterclass to actually doing, and just that really simple. I've nutted it down to about a 4 or 5 kind of step, maybe 5 week, but it'll be at your own pace, obviously, because if you're a Muse mama, you've got plenty of things to do and you're busy, to walk you through that, but to also, what's happening? Talking about designing and being intentional, my intention was just to share my birthing story and how everyone needs a midwife in their life to help them move to the next step. You might call them a mentor, but I really love that idea of a midwife who's just for that intense period of time. And that's what I want to do. And I'll be launching, I think, a coaching, consulting, midwife program. Anyway, that's probably August. Put a pin on that. But Muse Mamas, why I'm here, talking about that membership is, I'm just looking for Muse mamas, creative mamas who are ambitious and spiritual and who want a place to really tap into their creativity and connect with their calling, and to really find that thing that's just for you and that project, and then you can really rise up to inspire the world with what you do. And the world could like literally be the world, or your world could just be your family or your circle of friends, and whatever your circle of influence that you're being called to be a light for. And I want to have these kind of deep conversations, as well as the other kind of fun conversations like birthing stories, and just that blend of weaving babies and business and art and work and life. That's why I'm creating this space. I wanted a place to really show my artwork, and to, you know, so if you want to just have VIP access to my artwork and get, you know, specials and discounts and exclusive freebies and things, that's where it's going to be. And I wanted a space for that, but I wanted more than that. I wanted to connect on a deeper level, and then it'll be an ongoing conversation and workshops and masterclasses where if you want to ask me something, and if I can nut it down and I can share it, I would love to share that in that membership. And it was going to be more because I wanted people who are going to be invested in their path and in their journey and in their growth. So sure, I could have made a free groups, and I have a couple of them, but this membership is really a gathering of women where we're going to like really rise up, and we're really going to be like creative and really love our life and design it intentionally and be midwives for each other, and just be a village, right? It takes a village to raise a child. I reckon it also takes a village to raise the kind of mama you want to be, whether you're a mama of babies or furry babies, or babies that are birthed in other people's bodies, and, you know, but that idea of someone who is being all that you can be, and be surrounded by beauty and creativity and have a joyful life, all those things. If that resonates with you, that's why I was on, and to just share my midwife story. And yes, if you have any questions about my work or about the whole Muse Mama membership stuff, definitely ask below. If you're watching a replay, I can still comment below, because I always come back and answer any of the questions. Let me just put in the links for this Muse Mama thing that I'm talking about. And I hope you have the best day. I'm still waiting for my Uber food to come, because I thought I'd treat myself to lunch. And yeah, I hope that was valuable, and go about your day, connect with your creativity, be a mentor for somebody else, or find the midwife that's in your life that helps walk you through for your next chapter. Dare to take those big dreams and those callings that are nudging you, take it seriously and take the next step today and do something about that. And as always, I hope that my art, whether it is my writings, my videos, my paintings, or any of my offerings, can serve as a mirror for your heart, and what you see as beauty and inspirational is actually a reflection of you, and that my work will always serve as that anchor for you to really shine and get your full expression into the world. So yes, I will see you in the next video. Oh, let me pin this.